Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, I am back again. And today I'm gonna did what I did a couple months ago, or a year ago at this point. It's some movie review time. That's a horrible title right there. But yeah, I'm gonna did a movie review, which what I did a couple months ago. Last time I did a movie review on this channel, I reviewed the FNAF movie. It went horribly wrong in terms of my video and also the movie itself. But yeah, somehow or magically, that movie has a sequel which is going to be released on December. Ooh, can't wait to watch it. But yeah, I'm probably going to watch it for the sake of it's a FNAF. Now, yes, by the way I'm dressing, you obviously know what kind of movie I'm talking about. Okay, so this is a 2020 Aston Martin Red Bull Racing. So you can guess what kind of movie I'm talking about. Yes, today I'm going to talk about a Red Bull. Obviously, I'm gonna talk about the new F1 movie, who's starting by Brad Pitt and Damson Idris, and some other cast that I do know, but unfortunately I do forget about. Okay, there's other one who play Ruben, which is the same person who play a Bond villain, and also the same person who has the weird hairstyle. I don't know what that is. I do forget the movie, but that's the movie where a lot of people know about him. Okay, and lastly, the person who play as a Kate, that girl. And yes, she play as a Friday in Avengers. The Jarvis Friday. Yeah, turns out it was her. Okay, that Irish actress. Yeah, she was her, and some other casting like a. Actually, I do forget. But anyways, the movie, the F1 movie. Now, if I can summarize this movie, it's basically a Breaking Point 1 and 2. And not to mention that in the recent F125 movie that you can play the F1 movie chapter, which is basically a movie version, I would say a Hollywood version of the F1 Breaking Point. That's what I'm saying. Now, yes, there's a mix between like a F1 Breaking Point 1 and 2. Like you got the typical the veteran and the rookie. But the typical veteran and rookie is like, yeah, I'm an old man. I'm gonna do it all my way. Like, what the hell, this modernization? Okay, back in my day, we're rolling in the dirt, boy. Okay, and then you got the typical rookie who was like, it was a good kid, always got the bad one due to the egotistical old man. Okay, now this movie, both rookie and the veteran one, they basically egotistical piece of shit. If I'm trying to say, now they have their own ego, they have their own like this is my way, you're gonna do it my way, typical stuff like that. Okay, so yeah, the Brad Pitt who play as Sonny Hayes, Damson Idris who play as a JP Joseph Pierce, they're both asshole. That's kind of how I summarize this. Okay, they have their own ego. So the conflict, I would say the problem will relying on them. That's kind of that's how I describe. And I think like in the trailer, like the son who describes Sonny Hayes, like he's old, he's such a prick, but he's quick. That I mean that's the best way to describe that person. The same way as describe Joshua Pierce, which they also such a prick, but the difference is he's young. That's how I can describe that thing. Now, obviously, this whole review is gonna be spoiler alert, and yes, the first spoiler is gonna be the DRS was open. That was a terrible joke, right there. What do I say in that thing? But anyways, this movie is very Hollywood. Uh, I mean, it's basically a Hollywood adaptation of a Formula One. Now, yes, it took place in 2023. Now, yes, this is a fantasy, like it's a parallel universe, I would say, when they have a third team in the Formula One, in the modern Formula One. Now, obviously, we'll get not third team, 11 team. Okay, when they get 11 team, like the Breaking Point 2. Okay, so yeah, this is like an alternate universe of Breaking Point 2, but with a Hollywood twist. I would say this is a Hollywood alternative of the Breaking Point 2. Yes, that's how I can describe the F1 movie. But obviously, there's a lot more to it. Okay, now this was the Apple movie, which is fun fact. The camera they use for the shooting the F1 car, they use the highly customized or highly modified Apple camera, which you kind of see on your iPhone. this is not iPhone, but it's like the camera on your iPhone. They kind of took it and for the shot of the the onboard F1 car, which is pretty good. I'd say it's pretty good advertisement. And yes, this is a IMAX movie, so you can feel the sound of the F1 car. Now, obviously, the main selling point of this movie, not the story, because the story is, well, it's very Hollywood, it's very cheesy. That's what I say. But the main selling point is the immersive of the F1 car, like the sound of, like, the the feels, the pressure when you're racing side by side with other drivers, that you can feel that things. Okay, that's the main selling point of this movie. And obviously the cinematic, they can do it properly. That, like, it's just an absolute cinema when it comes to racing scenes. Okay, a more sports cinema is what it is. Like, ooh, a more sports cinema. Yeah, that's how I can describe it. Is just that good. Okay, this is really good. A summer movie or a popcorn movie. Okay, obviously you can enjoy it as a non F1 fans, because it's just a damn good movie. That's what it is. Okay, now obviously there is a flaw when it comes to this movie, like the okay, so it is gonna be a spoiler alert again. Okay, then the last race you got a Mercedes and Ferrari. That Ferrari was a SF24. Now, if you doesn't know that this movie took place in 2023, so it just doesn't make any sense when you got a SF24, a recent SF24. You know that the HP logo, that things. You know that the previous SF24, they don't have the HP title sponsor, but yeah, they got that on the Miami Grand Prix. So it is kind of weird when you see a W13. No, not 13. I think that's a W14. That black Mercedes car side by side with the recent SF24. It's just that weird. And I think it's like a bit of a problem. Like there's like a mismatch between the 2023 car and 2024. Sometimes you will see a W15 car at some scene. And yes, this is gonna be another spoiler in the movie, but I don't think you need to see the movie in order to see the mistake, because in the trailer you will see the mistake. You got the Abu Dhabi 2023 on the running tech, but you got the HP logo on that thing. So yeah, you don't need to see the mistake on the movie. You can already see on the trailer as well. Now, yes, because this was a Hollywood movie, there's gonna be a Hollywood touch, like a Hollywood magic touch, I would say. Yeah, the movie's quite unrealistic. If I see this thing as a F1 fans, if I see this one based on my F1 fans point of view, okay, since this movie took place in 2023, which is, if you doesn't know, it's a Verstappen year. Okay, it's the Holy Dutch Man. Okay, you will see a national Dutch anthem every single race apart from the Singapore one, which they don't include that one. But yeah, when you see that a dominant year, and you're gonna see like, oh no, we're gonna do the Hollywood touch, and see some unrealistic, like the huge crash, which, if you doesn't know, they kind of get the reference from the F3 races and the Monza as well. So yeah, there is some of the cameo or like an Easter egg, which is, I do like it. This is like the main thing that I kind of keeping up with the movie. Okay, there's stuff like the cameo with an actual F1 driver, an actual F1 team principal. Well, some of them are team principal, some of them aren't. You got Zach Brown as well, which is, I'm quite happy. So yeah, and of course the Total Wolf one. Okay, now again another spoiler alert. If you doesn't know that the Breaking Point 2, we're going back to Breaking Point 2. You know that the last the Abu Dhabi one, you got the team principal, every single team principal. No, not every single, like the big three, like kind of like doing this one. In the scenes, yeah, you will see that one. Also, I want to add one of the things. Actually, I want to add a lot of things, but there's one thing that I do like about this movie is the authenticity. Like somehow they manage us to. There is an actual 11 teams on the grid. Okay, even though they were paid actors who pretending to be a mechanics, but they convince us like they being an actual mechanics. Okay, the whole operation, like being an 11 F1 team who apparently struggling, like a corner sport, like a Breaking Point 2. Yeah. So yeah, it is pretty good. Like it is quite authentic for a Hollywood movie. Okay, even though they kind of like kind of cheesing up a little bit because again it's a Hollywood, okay. And of course, when it comes to an F1 team, they always do a shakedown in Silverstone, like any other F1 team, apart from teams that wasn't based on England or UK, and they have their own base, which actually it was a airport from Star Wars Ender. No shit, that took place in MTC as their base camp. So, yeah, it is really cool Easter egg. Obviously, that's showing it and all. Obviously, there's certain thing they have to like get rid of like the whole McLaren's cars, because it's an Apex car. It's not McLaren. It's not McLaren Apex. By the way, that Brad Pitt also tests a McLaren car in Austin. If he doesn't know that, those kind of things. And of course, one thing's another things is the music, like the soundtrack. I thought like I thought the soundtrack's gonna be like really trash because all these rappers or something like that. But no, like every single soundtrack in this movie were absolutely banger. Like I'm not kidding. The soundtrack, like the "Lose My Mind" by Don Toliver, or maybe the credit by Ed Sheeran's, like they were absolutely banger. And not to mention the theming. Okay, the composer, the Hans Zimmer one, he nailed it. Well, he always nailed it. I mean, back in the Day of Thunder, which is, if he doesn't know, he also composed that movie as well. Yes, Hans Zimmer nailed it of this, this theming, okay? Just like a Days of Thunder, okay? And yeah, this is basically like a Days of Thunder, but F1, because if he doesn't know, they kind of, took place in an actual races like Days of Thunder. So yeah, there's a bit of match here between Hans Zimmer and like you get the whole point. Okay, I just love that thing. God, I miss that movie. But yeah, the feels, the immersive of the F1 car, especially when they kind of side by side with other drivers, you can feel that way. You can feel the pressure. Okay, the crash. Yes, there is a crash, and that thing's obviously for has some problem, an extra problem, something like that. But yeah, how I can say that this movie, it's basically a Hollywood version of a Breaking Point. That's what it is, okay? But minus Casper Ackerman. Well, if he doesn't know that, the team principal name was named Casper, but not Casper Ackerman. I think minus who's that smuck guy who if you play Breaking Point, you know what it is, but there's no but minus all of them, okay? Yeah, all I can say, this is a Hollywood twist of a Breaking Point. I do enjoy this movie. I do a lot. Okay, even though there's some other flaws when it comes to this movie. Actually, I wanna mention this one. Okay, now Formula One. Okay, the modern Formula nowadays, they kind of pushing into like women in motorsport. Now this movie, yes, there is a woman in a motorsport, but the thing is, because this one is an Hollywood adaptation of a European sport, there is gonna have some Hollywood touch on it. Okay, now unfortunately, women till this day in Hollywood, they're basically like an object, like a love object for a main character, which Brad Pitt is one, Sonny Hayes. Okay, I mean, yes, you got the women role, that things, but they kind of, because of Hollywood, you know what I mean. Okay, like you got the women in motorsport, but unfortunately, it's a Hollywood. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, that's kind of the main problem. And actually, I'm not the only one who say that one. Like, obviously, a person who complained about the presence of the kid being women, not being an actual well, she being an actual but she's basically being like an object, like an not seeing as a woman. I don't know what I'm gonna say, but yeah, that it's kind of minus when you got like a when the main character, which is Sonny Hayes, having love with the technical, with the one of the member of the team. That's not very Formula One. That's very Hollywood. That's what it is. But I wouldn't blame for that one, because since this movie is for entertainment purposes, so yeah, there is a bit of a mismatch between this one, because it's an European sport, and that one was a American entertainment movie. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, what am I saying? I don't know, but yeah, the main selling point of this movie is the cinematic, obviously, the theming, the feels, the high speed, immersive of the F1 car. That's the main selling point, and it's just top notch. I do like this movie. But yeah, and also the Daytona one, which you're gonna see in the first scene. Okay, That was pretty cool as well. Okay, somehow and ironically, that scene was way more exciting than the actual F1 car, like the actual F1 race. I mean, throughout the movie, like there is some like things that if you doing it on the actual F1 race, you will get either you get penalty or you get race ban. Okay, so yeah, that's the like the flaws that things like when you see the movie, like wait a minute, this is not right. Okay, if FIA still saw this one, you will get race ban or something like that. Okay, and somehow in this movie they kind of like embrace that thing as if like that was the entertainment. But again, it's for entertainment purposes. I wouldn't blame for that one. So yeah, it is a good movie. Okay, really good movie, really good for a summer movie, and I'm highly recommend if you watch this movie. So I don't know. It's gonna be a short review or something like that. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please smash the like subscribe button. And right now, I'm gonna sit back and relax. I'm probably waiting for a new Fantastic Four. Ooh, that's fantastic. But yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you driving while I'm watching this thing, I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, drive safe and goodbye.